Welcome, Heat Seekers. It's the Boomer Bust Show, Sunday morning. Excited for week 4. I'm here with Bryce and Matt, and our boy Sully will be joining us in just a minute. Bryce, how was your week 3, and what are you looking forward to here in week 4?
Week 3 was a good bounce back week for some of those leagues that started out, 0-2. And I'm definitely looking forward to the game tonight. Of course, going to probably watch Tom Brady stomp on my poor New England Patriots, but it'll be good to see him back in New England because the fan base is gonna love it. Matt.
Week 3 was great for me. Draftkings went well with all my head-to-heads. Most of the leagues where I'm competing or have a really strong chance, I won and scored well, and I'm super excited for week 4. Honestly, I'm just looking for 7 hours commercial free. I cannot wait. Cannot wait for that to start at 1 o'clock. Every game, just give me all the action.
I'm just hoping Justin Fields doesn't die after week 3. For me, it would be great to just see some improvement in my Chicago Bears offense, but until Nagy's gone, I don't have a lot of faith for that. But let me move over here. We already got comments rolling in. Yo says, man, I don't know how to say that.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon Jinn. Sounds good.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. We got Joseph in here. He says, "Morning, fellas.
Morning, Joe.
Thanks for stopping by. DM Fresh, what's going on, guys? Hope you're having a good morning, DM." And Ryan says, "How do you guys feel about DK Metcalf with the toe?" Matt, what are your thoughts on DK?
To be honest, I didn't know there was a whole lot going on with DK in regards to any two uncertainties. I would rely on sideline reporting prior to the game for that. In my personal opinion, I'm not going to speak on it. I don't know enough about what's going on with him.
Bryce.
Yeah, I think I haven't heard much about it too. And usually that's good news, right? So unless he's like a game time decision or anything like that, DK Metcalf is a guy that I'm not really worried about. Players at this point in the season, every week are going to have something, nagging at them. That's what that's what football is. It's been like that for years and years, and they play through the little aches and pains, and I'm not worrying about it until it gets known to be a big issue.
Yeah, my thing is unless we get like a definitive, this guy's going to be on the snap count or something like that, I fire up my studs if they're on the field. Most of the time, like last year, there was a situation where we heard Keenan Allen was probably going to be limited on one of the games where he was, banged up and in that situation, then, I'll sit the player. But if we don't hear that like definitive, this player is going to be on a snap count, they're not throwing them out there typically without them being, good to go. So I wouldn't be too worried about it. Al over on Facebook says, good morning. Good morning to you. Joseph says, thoughts on JJ Taylor. Would you start Pittman or Corey Davis? Also, your thoughts on adding Marlon Mack. Thanks for all the help. So we've got a 3-parter here. First, we're going to go over here to Bryce and talk about JJ Taylor a little bit. So obviously James White out for the season with his hip injury. Is JJ Taylor going to step in there and kind of fill that James White role, or what are we looking at with Taylor?
I think the Patriots backfield is just a mystery for everybody. I'm not touching it. I would assume that JJ Taylor kind of takes that role. He's a faster back. I've watched him, run routes. He looks pretty good doing that, but it could be Brandon Bolden. They could end up bringing up Ramondre Stevenson, and he takes over that role. So it's kind of just who knows. All we know for sure is that Damian Harris is going to be their lead back when it comes to carries, and then the rest of it at this moment is up in the air.
You have any thoughts on that, Matt? You're muted, buddy.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Yeah, I like Taylor as a speculative ad. I think he can be useful, game script dependent, of course. It's all just going to come down to game flow with the Patriots. I do think he's the best chance for the pass down work. And then, of course, as Bryce mentioned, the backfield's pretty much settled when it comes to rushing, but he may get some pass down work throughout the year.
Yeah, I would just echo what these guys said with more of a speculative ad. What about Corey Davis and Michael Pittman, Matt? Which one are you starting?
I'm going to lean Davis, and I decided that this morning. I was pretty much on Pittman all week. I have this challenge myself in numerous leagues. The reason I'm going to lean Davis is simply Xavier Howard. Wentz, one, hasn't looked incredible, and Xavier Howard is a fantastic corner that he may do a lot of shadow coverage today on Pittman. And even though his volume's been great, I think in a tough matchup with the Jets playing the Titans, I think I'm going to lean Davis in this one.
Bryce, where are you going?
Yeah, I agree. I'm barely leaning Corey Davis. I didn't really look too much into the matchup more than I just looked at the injuries for the Jets with Elijah Moore out. I started to lose a little bit of faith in Corey Davis this last week because it seemed like Zach Wilson was looking more of Elijah Moore's way. But with him out, I can't imagine him going to anyone else besides Corey Davis a majority of this game against a much softer secondary than Pittman goes up against, as you mentioned. Rick?
I'm Corey Davis as well, but see, my reason's a little bit different. We got Jamison Crowder coming back. I think that it helps Davis to have somebody else on that offense for the defense to key on. And obviously, we've seen Jamison Crowder be very productive in the NFL. So having him back, I think it's going to help. It's going to take a little bit of attention off of Corey Davis. And those are going to be the two guys, right? They'll probably have 30% target share each with the way that wide receiver group is at the moment. And then the last one is, what are your thoughts on adding Marlon Mack? And I would say that I feel the same way about him as I do JJ Taylor. It's it's purely speculative. If Marlon Mack would get traded to a good situation, then he could add some value, but that is basically what you're hoping for, or you're hoping for a Jonathan Taylor injury, which I never like to hope for those. So that's where I'm at on Marlon Mack. Definitely a speculative ad, but nobody I'm prioritizing. Bryce, where you at on Marlon Mack?
Yeah, I agree. There's not much else to say until he gets a landing spot, in my opinion. If you have players on your bench, I guess, that are kind of useless, it can't hurt to add Marlon Mack, especially if you're hurting that running back depth. But everything you said, spot on.
Matt.
3 for 3. 3 for 3. Nothing too special there. If you have room, great. I wouldn't make it a priority.
Are we starting Dalvin Cook and Barkley, or are we going to start Javonte over one of them? Matt, why don't you go ahead and take that one?
Barkley, 100%. I think he's back. I mean, it's still not the best offense in the world, but the volume's going to be there. It has been. The snap share's been there. If you have Barkley is in your lineup.
And you have no issue starting Dalvin today, coming off that questionable tag. He's in, but
when he's in, I think you have to play him. I mean, if your guy's out there, your guy's out there. I mean, I'd have to have a really, really, really good other option. I mean, like a top 12 running back option in order to sit Dalvin. So I would play both.
Bryce, how you feeling about that?
Yeah, if either of these dudes are playing, the Minnesota is not playing Dalvin unless they feel like he can take his full workload. And Barkley is coming back to who we were hoping he would be. So I'm not sitting either of those studs.
Sully, the question is, are you starting Dalvin Cook and Barkley, or are you going to play Javonte over one of them? You are muted. That's what he was having problems with his mic. That's why he was late getting in here. See if you can test that out, figure that out, and we'll move on to the next one. Just speak up, interrupt me when you think you got that. Yeah, I'm starting Dalvin and Barkley, no question. I guess you could have made a debate about it if Melvin Gordon was going to be out, since he was questionable all week. But with Melvin Gordon looking like he's going to play today, Javonte just doesn't get the work that I want. And Barkley, with all those wide receivers out, could just be that much more involved in the passing game today. So I'm definitely starting both of them. DM Fresh says, I have a quarterback situation. I got Russell Wilson and Matthew Stafford. What should he be doing with this situation, Bryce?
Whew. Man, this is rough. You could easily like choose either of these guys based on their matchup week in and week out, just because they're both top tier guys. Russell Wilson's got a little bit, obviously, more rushing upside, but I don't think I can sit Matthew Stafford the way that team is rolling. I mean, they're playing another divisional game, and you saw what they did last week against a divisional opponent. I think he right now is quarterback. Is he quarterback number 2 in most formats?
He's up there. He's top, top 3 or 4,
yeah.
whatever. He's crazy numbers.
Yeah, he's top 3 or 4, and he has pretty much no rushing upside. So I'm probably sticking to Matthew Stafford. Matt,
what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'll go with everything Bryce said. Stafford's just been safe. There's too many times where the Seahawks are up and down, and so much of Russell's big game success comes when Lockett's around. So I'll lean Stafford as well.
Sully, we gonna try again there, buddy?
Nope.
He's trying.
I think he's all the way back.
Yeah, reading lips. Learning how to read lips today. I'll dub it. He speaks, and I'll just talk over him, and it'll look funny because his voice. Yeah, I'm the biggest Russell Wilson fan. I love Russell Wilson, but right now you just the marriage of Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay is one of the best we've seen over the past couple years. Like it seems to be a perfect match. Obviously Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford have become best buds real quick. Don't see that a lot when wide receivers, get new quarterbacks, but man, they're rocking right now. So I'm going Stafford as well. But what I would be looking to do is to trade one of those guys, get a lesser option, improve another position, so that you don't have this headache every week, because this is not a 1 week deal here. You're going to be asking yourself this every week, and there's going to be weeks where you pick way wrong and are frustrated. But let's see. Sully, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
There we go.
What's up,
Sully? It's a great morning.
Russell Wilson or Matthew Stafford?
I'm going to go with Russell Wilson myself. San Francisco, not the greatest defense over the years against a mobile quarterback, so I'm going to lean that way. But great problem to have, and I'm probably looking to get rid of one of those quarterbacks and strengthen my roster somewhere else.
Well, okay, so you went the opposite direction as us on the quarterback, but you just echoed what I said about making a move and getting rid of one of these guys so that you don't have to worry about picking wrong every week. Miles Sanders.
Sorry, I'm having a real hard time hearing you guys.
You're fine. See if you get that fixed and hear us better without taking your audio away. We've got Miles Sanders or Marquis Brown. Matt, why don't you start us off with this one? Which player are you playing today?
If I had to choose between the two, I'm going to go Marquis Brown. I like that Chiefs-Eagles game to be more pass-heavy. And not that Sanders can't get involved in the pass game, but I kind of like Gainwell in that game today. I think he's like a sneaky GPP guy. And I'm just not scared of Sanders necessarily, but yeah, given the two, I'm going to go ahead and lean Marquis Brown.
Bryce, where are you at on Miles Sanders and Marquis Brown?
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say the same thing. I feel like the Eagles are going to be always trying to answer a lot of that game, and Gainwell is just earning touches, eating into Miles Sanders' workload every week. Marquis Brown, it seems like at this point in the season, has a decent floor, and his ceiling is sky high. I mean, last week he dropped, I believe, 2 touchdown passes that should have been easy catches. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Marquis Brown.
Sully, where are you at with Sanders and Brown?
Oh,
he's gone. Cool.
He didn't like it.
He hates it. I hate this. I hate choices. I'm going Marquis Brown as well. I'm not like Miles Sanders, the Kenneth Gainwell stuff. I'm not that worried about. Like we don't have very many running backs that don't have a number 2 guy that are getting worked in, right? But they're just not going to be able to run the ball today. They're going to have to be playing catch up. I think the Chiefs are pissed off. They're 1-2. They're last in the division, and when great quarterbacks get their back against the wall like this, we've seen it many times. Remember how many times Brady 10 years ago was done, would have a slow start to the season and then didn't take off. I think we see something similar with the Chiefs. So, I think they're going to be throwing more. And they don't use the running backs a ton in the passing game. I feel like they're going to try to be moving the ball down the field, especially since the Chiefs haven't really defended well down the field thus far. I'm going with Marquis Brown as well. And you're right. He does have a pretty good floor. He scored 8 points last week with the 2 big drops. He's been getting, 8 to 10 targets a game. The majority of his games since the, mid part of last year, he's had either 80 yards or a touchdown. He's playing well, and it's not really, I don't think it's going real noticed in fantasy football. So I definitely like him as a solid play. Let's see. Pick one for the flex, full PPR, Waddle, Robert Woods, or Cordarrelle Patterson. Matt, why don't we go with you first, sir?
I'll go Robert Woods. I know he hasn't been too exciting so far this year, but I have zero trust in the Dolphins offense right now. And Cordarrelle Patterson just splits too much time. I think he's a decent flex play if you need a guy at running back and he's an option there. But yeah, I'll go Robert Woods here.
Sully.
This one's tough. It's Waddle or Woods for me. Based on what I expect targets to be, I'll lean towards Waddle here.
Bryce. I'm going Waddle. I'm a big believer on this guy. He's my favorite rookie of this year. And I think he just has a safer floor. I think his ceiling is probably a little bit less than Robert Woods, obviously, because he has way more touchdown upside. But he's got that big play speed. So it wouldn't be surprised for me to see him break off a couple 30-point weeks this year. And I'm hoping, I kind of have a feeling that today's going to be one of them.
I'm going Waddle as well, but I will say this, like if I needed just safe, like I needed to make sure I got 8 to 10 points, I would be going Cordarrelle Patterson here because of the work that he's getting. I think that you do get a solid floor with Waddle though, because he had 14 targets last week or something, and 14 targets for 40 yards, 7 catches for 40 yards is still, an 11-point week. So we might not like the quarterback there, but the volume's nice. And look at this. People are excited that Sully's here, and he could have posted this 3 times, which is cool.
If he wasn't such an idiot, you could have got excited on time today. So
Doug Raj says Crowder, Singletary, or McKissick PPR. This one is pretty easy for me. I'm going Jamison Crowder, returning to the Jets. I think he's going to get volume. We never know what Singletary and McKissick are going to get. I guess we don't really know what Crowder's going to get, but I would assume that he's going to get that volume. And in PPRs, I like Crowder a lot in PPR formats. Sully, where are you going with those 3?
Yeah, I think with Elijah Moore out, Crowder coming back, all the guy does is produce. And I totally get it's a new quarterback and a new offense, but we know what his role is in that offense. And I think he gets somewhat peppered enough to be the play over these other 2. So I'm with you on Crowder.
I will also go Crowder. There's just not enough ceiling for Singletary and McKissick for me to want to stay away from Crowder here. Bryce?
Yeah, I mean, a clean sweep. Crowder for all the reasons, you guys mentioned.
All right. Aaron Rodgers or Justin Herbert at QB? Sully, start us off on this one.
Justin Herbert. Why not? Go for ceiling, and I think the ceiling play is Herbert. Either one is a very fine start. Matt?
Great problem to have. I will also go Herbert.
Yeah, I'll probably go Herbert. Right.
I'm going Aaron Rodgers.
Hey.
It's just one of the best, and Pittsburgh hasn't looked very good. Their defense is their strength right now. But typically it doesn't matter who the defense is when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. So I'm going Rodgers for now. Either way is good, though. Like, another good problem to have. Do I start Patterson, Fournette, Gaskin, Gordon, Galladay, or Beasley at flex? Lots of options here, fellas. Matt, which one of these are you taking?
So there's a lot to take in here. If I'm just going to dive into one, the first one that jumped out at me is Beasley. It's just safe. I think Buffalo scores 30-plus points. They're going to move the ball. I can see volume. I don't like Galladay's matchup. He's going to have shadow. The rest of them just don't really excite me. So I'll go Beasley.
Bryce, where are you going?
Yeah, I have a feeling that Galladay is going to have a good week this week, but I'm not going to take that risk when I have somebody like Beasley that his floor is probably 10 points and his ceiling is probably still close to 30 because he gets so many targets, a lot of yards, and he could easily find the end zone. I'm going to go Beasley here.
For what it's worth, real quick, Lattimore will likely be on him, and I'm staying away from
on Galladay. Yeah.
Personally, I'm staying away from Galladay, even with all the injuries and the lack of people to go to. I'm personally staying away, just for what it's worth, because of Lattimore.
Sully, what are your thoughts?
I think this is easier if I just start eliminating people. So it's not Gaskin, it's not Gordon, it's not Fournette, it's not Galladay. It's down to Patterson and Beasley. Beasley seems like the smarter play, but I'm concerned that they just don't need to do a whole lot today past the second half, start of the second half. Patterson's going to get a lot of work. I'm going to go Beasley, but it would be between those two for me. The rest are all out.
Yes, I'm going Beasley as well. If they put up enough points to where they don't need these guys in the second half, then he's probably gotten you a decent amount. So I think there's a real solid floor there. And I'm still like, I had this debate in the Facebook group, but, Patterson's usage isn't going away, but I still, for some reason, don't trust it. I don't know if that's because as a Bears fan, I seen them try to use him and it never came to any sort of fruition or any fantasy value, but I'm just not there yet. Week 5, I maybe have a different answer for Patterson owners. Next one is pick one for wide receiver spot. I got Jacoby Myers, Cordarrelle Patterson. Patterson seems like he's going to be a very popular player in these questions today, or Emmanuel Sanders. So this one's a very interesting one. Bryce, why don't you start us off with this one?
I'm going Cordarrelle Patterson. He's a running back that's in the wide receiver spot in a lot of formats. Even on the depth chart, I think he's still listed as a running back, which is strange. You would think they would adjust, but his floor is just way better than all of these guys. Even though I do think Jacoby Myers has a good week, it's more of a risky play. So I'm going to go with something a little bit more safer, and it's Cordarrelle Patterson, whose floor is higher than Jacoby Myers, and his ceiling probably is too.
Sully, what are you thinking about these guys?
I'm on Jacoby Myers here. I think the Patriots are going to be uncomfortable this evening and have to throw a ton, and I think that's where they go. Patterson, again, nice safe floor. Sanders, I don't see the Bills needing to hit those long shots this week, so I'm going to go with Jacoby based on what I perceive is going to be a decent amount of volume.
I'm right there with Sully on this one, right there. I think the volume is there. It's been there for Myers. I think it continues to be there this week. And I just don't love everything else about the other two. So, yeah, I'll go Myers as well.
I'm going Emmanuel Sanders. I'm going with the guy with the best quarterback, the team that's supposed to score the most points. I just, the touchdown upside's there. I don't know what is there for the other two teams in terms of touchdowns. Obviously, volume has been the key for these two guys thus far. But I think Emmanuel Sanders can get some decent volume and has some touchdown upside there, as we seen last week. With Jacobs, a game time decision as of now, Jacobs or Brait full PPR. For me, this one, if Jacobs in, you go with Jacobs. If he's out, you go with Brait. It's pretty easy for me. But Sully, what do you think about that?
Well, you won't know the answer to that question because Jacobs goes on Monday. So you tonight.
It's a rough option.
I don't know how to say this. I'm starting Jacobs and hoping that he plays because even if he's out, I don't think Brait gets much more than Jacobs if Jacobs is out, without sounding like a jerk. I just don't think Cameron Brait is going to be involved much, even with Gronk out.
I have to change my answer because I'm starting Bray if we're not sure about Jacobs. I do know that some people think Jacobs is going to play, but I'm going to take – I think Bray's going to be involved with Gronk out. He was involved last week with Antonio Brown out. Obviously, Gronk was a big part of that offense thus far this season. I would have to look more into it to see what the likelihood is that he plays.
It sounds like he's going to.
If it sounds like he's going to, then I would start him. But if you're really worried about it, and don't have an option come tomorrow night, I would just go the safe play and go with Brait myself. Bryce, what do you think about that one?
Yeah, I was reading into Josh Jacobs, and he's a game time decision, but it's looking like he's going into play. So I'm probably, sticking him in my lineup and just hoping that something terrible doesn't happen or whatever on the pregame warmups.
So the Facebook user that asked was Joseph Kidder. Joe, to be honest with you, I would at least look. I mean, with all the inactives this week, I would at least look and see what's out there because I don't love either option. If I had to go with these two, I'm going to go Brait. Just because, like Rick said, he'll be on the field with no Gronk and a pass-happy Tampa Bay team. I'll go Brait.
Add AB, Kenny Galladay, Ruggs, Pittman, Chenault, Rager, and Samuel. Who should I add in the waiver wire or just stick with Rondale Moore? Holy schmolies.
These are all waivers?
I am.
This has got to be like an 8-man league.
That's not Debo, is it?
I'm assuming
it's got to be Curtis. Yeah, Curtis.
I'm adding AB here. I'm picking the option in the best offense. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. I'll rank a couple. To be honest, and I know I'm a homer, but I'm sticking with Rondale in this group. I know that seems crazy, but I'm just waiting for the long-term upside. I think the upside there's for him. Just so many targets to go around in Tampa with so many good weapons, but I would go Rondale, AB, Pittman and then Chenault would probably be the order in which I would go after them. Rondale, AB, Pittman, Chenault.
Sully, what were you thinking there?
AB is the top of my list. Chenault would be right there. Almost all of them over Rondale Moore, to be honest, other than Ruggs or Samuel, but or Rager. Sorry. So I would take all of them, but I would prioritize AB and Laviska over the two other ones.
Bryce.
Yeah, AB pretty easily here. Rondale Moore needs to go on the waiver wire with those guys, and AB needs to be on your team for sure.
Bryce, Tom Brady in the Bucs or New England tonight? Where's your heart?
This is Joe again. I'm rooting for New England, but it's hard to. It's like I'm in a win-win situation, kind of.
Just say Tampa Bay.
Also, yeah.
Just say Tampa Bay.
I want New England to win. I really want to see Mac Jones. I want this to be a good, ideally high-scoring game. That's all I want. I mean,
Bryce,
who wins? I want New England, but
who do you think is going to win?
Oh, Tampa Bay. That's the question. That's Tampa Bay for sure.
It sure seems like that's what he's asking.
I thought he was asking who am I rooting for, Tom Brady or New England. I'm definitely, because he said, "Where's your heart?" here.
Oh, maybe that is what he's asking. But
okay.
I think we all agree that Tampa Bay is going to win this game, right?
Yeah. If I had to bet,
anybody picking New England?
No, I picture this as like your buddy gets in a fight outside of the bar and you have to pull him off after a while saying, Tom, they've had enough.
You think it's going to be that bad? I think it's going to be closer than people think.
I think Brady's going to throw 6 touchdown passes tonight.
Yeah, I think this is a game where they could score 40. It could be 40-0 at half, and they would come out in the second half like it's a 0-0 game.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
I could see exactly what you just said. They could be up 25, and then the first play of the second half is a play-action bomb to Evans. I think he's just going to go for as many as he can.
It'll be people think.
It'll be fun to watch. We might have maybe this is our bet here.
Well, hang on just one sec, Bryce. So New England takes away what the opponent does best. Who are you taking away tonight?
They're going to try and focus for sure.
They're bust.
Godwin and Evans. I don't know how they're going to do both, but I just
No.
think I think this is
they
more
take
of,
away more than
The
what they
team
do.
I think
bus.
this is more
That's
of-
their chance. Is the
I
team
think
bus? Take
I
out
think
the
it's
team
more
bus.
of they're going to try and take out Brady. I think they're going to try and keep him uncomfortable all
Control
night
the
long.
clock.
New England Brady has not done well in his career against past New England coaches. And I think that Bill Belichick brings the house a lot this game. I think that Brady's going to be under pressure more than people think, and that's what's going to be the difference. I don't think it's the wide receivers dropping the ball or the secondary cover, and I think we're going to bring a lot of pressure.
Makes sense.
That's a fair enough point.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it's going to happen.
I don't either. That's what I hope. That's what I just hope.
That's what I hope. Kirk Cousins or Dak? Sully.
I'll go Dak.
Yeah, no. Dak.
Cousins.
I mean, Cousins has been good.
Really?
So you can make a case for him, but I got to go
Just look
Dak.
at what Cousins has done for the last 8 to 10
Absolutely.
games that he's played. He hasn't thrown a pick. He's thrown multiple touchdowns in all of them. He's consistently having to throw the football. He's going to have to throw the football again today. I think he has a good game. And Dak came out through 58 passes in week 1, and then the Cowboys realized that they could run the football the last couple of weeks, and he hasn't thrown a ton, and he's not running. So I think it's Cousins, but it's close. This is another one of those quarterback ones where I'm 100% fine with either one, but I'll put my homer hat on and lean Cousins in this one.
Let me ask you this,
Yeah.
because I witnessed something last week. How is the Vikings offensive line playing right now?
Played pretty decent last week. It's not very good, but that's an excellent thing to bring up because Garrett scares the crap out of me today.
Yeah, I mean that
he could
entire
get to Cousins 5 or 6
defensive front
times.
is disgusting for Cleveland. Now that's not the only problem that the Bears had, because they didn't move at all. Obviously, I think the Vikings are smart enough to move out of the pocket a little bit if the pressure's getting too crazy and make some adjustments there. But I'm going Dak, but it's not because I don't like Cousins. It's just
Sure.
I think that Dallas's offense is just a better offense. And I think they're playing against a team that can also compete and put up points with them, which is when we get those monster Dallas games with Sam Darnold playing as well as he's playing. I just, I don't think Carolina's defense is as good as they've looked so far.
I don't either.
So that's why I go him. But Matt, what was that you said at the beginning there?
Just that with the weapons that I'm leaning Dak here, but with the weapons that Kirk has and the success that he has with Thielen, I mean, it's guaranteed he throws a touchdown at Thielen, isn't it? I mean, Thielen, you can just chalk him up for one every week with Jefferson there and the other weapons. My only concern about that game is just that there have been games in the past where the Browns games have been slow because they like to control the clock. They like to run the ball. They're not explosive. I don't see that being a really low scoring game, but I see that as a scenario. The Panthers defense, I think, is scaring people away because their numbers look good. But if you look at who they played and the quarterbacks they played, it's all probably fake. So I'm going to lean Dak and just hope that, he goes somewhere, finds the balance of that 50 attempt first game with the lower attempts in the last 2 games and puts up a good week.
That was a very good point that we hadn't made yet, is that actually Minnesota and Cleveland are both teams that do like to slow the game down. And if they both get their way running the ball, that could be a slower game than Carolina and Dallas as well. Sully, you were getting ready to say something?
Yeah, I just have a feeling Kevin Stefanski wants to come to Minnesota and do what Tom Brady wants to go to New England and do to the Patriots. So I don't think Cleveland necessarily controls the ball. I think he wants to ram it down our throat.
Well, Cleveland, the way they do ram it down your throat, especially with Landry out and less options in the pass game, can still be with the run game, right? With Chubb and Hunt, like that run
And
game
Felton.
is just disgusting. And Felton has looked great. If he was playing more of just a pure slot role, he would be a very intriguing option, and I think people should pay attention in dynasty leagues for sure.
Yeah.
Bryce, what are you thinking on this one?
Yeah, I'm going Dak. I think the Browns defense is arguably, outside of the Rams, the most well-rounded in the league when it comes to their secondary, and they're just everywhere. So I see Kirk still, having a solid week, but I just think that Dak has that similar floor, and his ceiling is just way higher. I think the Panthers and Cowboys game is going to be a shootout. So I'm going to go with Dak with that possibility.
Bryce, while you're there, Trey Sermon, Chase Edmonds, Ayuk, Cole Beasley. Pick 2 for the flex.
Okay, so Cole Beasley is for sure
Mm-hmm.
one of them. I'm probably going Cole Beasley and Chase Edmonds. I know Edmonds is kind of sitting in that same role he was last year, where he's kind of the pass catching back, but it just seems like he's involved every single week and has just a great floor. I'm waiting for that week he finds the end zone a couple of times. But I'm going to probably go Chase Edmonds and Cole Beasley. They're just the guys that have been more consistent this year for me.
Sully, are you backing that up?
I'm backing up half of it. I'm taking Beasley, and I saw enough out of Brandon Ayuk last week that I think things are going to start to turn around there. So I'm going to go that way. I am not on the Trey Sermon bandwagon, and I think Chase Edmonds, if they get close, is going to lose those goal line touches to James Conner, thus making him a tough start. So I'm going with Ayuk and Beasley here.
Trey Sermon couldn't even get on the field more than the fullback last week, so that worries me.
I've never been a fan, so.
Yeah, I'm Ayuk and Beasley as well. I just don't, Chase Edmonds, yeah, the floor is there and the touches are there, but I don't see the upside that I get with the other two guys, and I think they have solid floors as well now that Ayuk's back and not in the doghouse. Matt, where you at?
I'm going to go Beasley, Edmonds, and it's more like you mentioned. I really like Edmonds' floor. I just think he's a safe play. Like, who doesn't love just throwing him in your flex or your RB2 if you actually need somebody? And I think Kittle might have a week. Between Kittle and Debo, I'm just kind of staying away from my youth this week. I want to see it one more week. So give me Edmonds and Beasley.
I agree.
Galladay, Myers, Beasley. Pick one.
Beasley.
Matt.
I'm going to go Beasley here.
Bryce.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to say that Galladay is the third option here, but I'm going to go with Beasley as well.
Sully.
Jacoby.
I hope you're right.
The junk time.
I really hope you're right.
I'm going Beasley as well. I think Beasley Myers, like volume wise, are very similar, close. Yeah. They're very similar there. Myers is getting the opportunity, but there's been more success. Last week was Kendrick Bourne, right? I just got to see it come to fruition. Beasley with that offense, I just feel more comfortable with. That's the difference maker. Poor Galladay. Make a dumb decision for money and end up in New York.
And yeah,
I'll make that dumb decision all day when it's given to me. Thanks.
Yeah.
Full PPR. Pick one. Curtis Samuel, Chester Rogers, Henry Ruggs, Tim Patrick, Emmanuel Sanders. We've got a lot of options here, Sully. Which one are you rolling with?
Tim Patrick. All that guy does is produce for the Broncos week in and week out when given the opportunity. That's where I'm going again right here.
Matt, I see you rubbing those hands together.
I am going Tim Patrick as well. I just think he's safe. There's a decent ceiling there. He's safe. The targets are going his way. Until Judy is back in that lineup, I feel pretty confident throwing him in. I love Sanders as well for what it's worth. There's just, like we mentioned numerous times with Beasley, the lack of passing that offense might even need. You're going to need Sanders to get the Bills' lead to be built from Sanders, because once the lead's there, I think it's going to be a lot of Zach Moss today. So, yeah, I will go Tim Patrick.
Bryce.
Yeah, you could easily chalk this up to what's the safest play, and it's easily Tim Patrick here. But if I'm in any sort of situation where I think I'm going to need 20-plus points, I think I'm going Henry Ruggs. He's getting he's getting more and more involved. Last week wasn't great, but he still scored over 10 points, and the week before that he scored, he scored over 20. So Henry Ruggs, if you want a 20-plus week, if you want something safe, Tim Patrick's your easy decision.
I like that. I think Tim Patrick fits both, though. I think in that offense, we've seen Tim Patrick, if he gets in the end zone, there's an opportunity he's putting up 20 for you as well. So I feel he's got that combination, floor and ceiling. So it's a clean sweep here. Tim Patrick across the board for the Heat Seekers here.
Can I ask a stupid question real quick before we move forward? And it's probably a stupid question, but I'm running late this morning, so I'm going through some of my lineups, and I had an IR violation, and I realized that N'Keal Harry has been activated. That means nothing, correct? We're not changing our feeling on Myers because of that.
God, no.
Okay, I didn't think so. I just wanted to double check.
Not yet.
It's not like any of the receivers in New England are overly talented. Neither is Harry. But just wanted to double check what your guys' thoughts were real quick.
And Bryce is the New England guy, but we've seen that before. We've seen him active in that offense with those other pass catchers. Not so much Aguilar and Bourne, but we've seen him active with Myers before, and he's a non-factor.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that was also Cam Newton.
Yeah.
behind
he's got
center,
the opportunity.
So.
But
he's
he
got
didn't
the
even
opportunity
target
now. Yeah. He's got the opportunity now to get his draft value. If he doesn't produce within the next 3 to 4 weeks, they just need to trade him, do something, because he's a bust. At this point, he's a bust.
I'm definitely not saying that he's going to come out and ball out, but
right.
Any of those wide receivers we kind of gave a pass for last season, right? I mean, Cam Newton threw 8 touchdown passes that entire season. Like it was very bad. So I'd like to see him healthy on the field before I say that he's not going to be able to take anything away from these other receivers. None of them excite me. Right now we just like these guys because of volume, right? Like that's why we are even thinking about putting Myers in a starting lineup.
Right.
Yeah.
Morning, gents, from Trey over on YouTube says full PPR. Debo, Deontay, Galladay, or Allen Robinson. Choosing 2. Deontay's in there. There's no question. The decision for me is out of the rest of these. And I have to think about it for a second. So I'm going to start with Matt. Where you going?
I'm with you on Deontay with all the injuries, and just check down 80-year-old Ben Roethlisberger. Give me all the Deontay and the backfield, Harris. But Debo for sure for me. Easy Debo. Debo's
Bryce.
Volume's been fantastic.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No worries. I'm good.
Yeah, I don't like to say, I'm just going to go opposite anyway. I think he's due. I think it's Deontay Johnson and Allen Robinson.
Sully, you're shaking your head there. Are you agreeing with Bryce?
I'm going to keep starting Allen Robinson, even if I'm wrong 17 times this week. There is no reason that I'm sitting him, and I am really struggling between Debo and Deontay here, but I will go with Deontay based on the targets that he should get for sure.
Yeah, this is everybody here knows that I've been an A-Rob truther since he was hurt in Jacksonville. I want to start him, but I just don't know with this offense. But I think I'm with Sully, where I'm probably going to end up starting him 17 weeks, whether it works or not. And then I'm going to pray for the man to finally have an offense worth a damn going into next year. So Deontay and Allen Robinson for me. Debo is close with A-Rob. There is the ceiling there. But Galladay's out of the picture. Deontay's easy for me. The volume's just crazy.
Yeah.
The man scores 18 points every week. Mm-hmm. Antonio Bryant, Zach Moss, Robert Woods, standard league. Sully, you playing any standard leagues?
I do play in one. It's my original forever ago fantasy league. Give me Zach Moss. I think he's going to run a ton in the second half.
Matt.
I love it. I actually thought I was going to be the only one going Zach Moss, but I will also go Zach Moss, and for the exact same reasons. I think he gets close to
about it, to be totally honest.
It doesn't feel great. I'm with you. But just the game script, I mean, it's going to be a slaughter. And they're just going to run, and that seems to be the guy they like when they just want to pound it. So, yeah, I'm with Sully on this one.
Yeah, 3 for 3. And, format definitely changes all of our answers, I'm sure, here. But Zach Moss has the touchdown upside, and they should be winning this game pretty much after the first 5 minutes. So I'll go Zach Moss.
Zach Moss is third here for me. Zach Moss is never the answer for me. Devin Singletary is still getting carries too. It's not like Singletary's not. He's getting double-digit carries every week. Zach Moss might have the goal line work, but we know that it's just as likely that Josh Allen could run it in. I'm going with Antonio Bryant. I think there's a lot of touchdown upside for him in that game as well. I think that there's a lot of upside for a touchdown for Robert Woods as well. So I feel like that's a recurring theme with these three guys. I just trust Bryant and Woods more. So I lean Bryant. Moss would be third for me, but obviously I'm outvoted here. Good luck with that situation. This week, Monty's a regular. He's going to figure it out one way or the other. 0.5 PPR, flex spot. Do I start Tim Patrick or hold off for Monday and play either Jacobs or Barber? This one's an interesting one because this one we've got options for Monday night if Jacobs doesn't go. Bryce, where are you going with this one?
I think even if Jacobs goes, I probably lean Tim Patrick at this point. I think he, like we've already mentioned, he just produces every time he's on the field. He's the number 2 option on that team, and he just produces for you. So I'm going to stick that guy in there until he doesn't anymore.
Also agree. I'm going to go Tim Patrick without any hesitation. Sully?
Yeah, honestly, it's not close for me. It's Tim Patrick.
We got a clean sweep here. I'm not going to go opposite everybody this time just to go opposite. Jacobs is kind of a slightly souped up Damian Harris, right? Like we have to get a touchdown out of these guys because they don't catch any balls, which obviously this is 0.5 PPR. So, it's a little bit different than full PPR, but Tim Patrick, I think he's gonna have plenty of opportunity and he's got scoring opportunity. That offense is moving. I'm liking Tim Patrick as well. Here's a question for Mr. New England up here. Who you starting, Tom Brady against the Patriots or Kyler Murray?
This is weird to say that if you need a ceiling play, you probably want to put in Tom Brady because he might throw for 8 touchdowns today. And the 4 play would be Kyler Murray.
That would be awesome.
I don't know if I can sit Tom Brady. I just feel like you're going to regret sitting the all-time great against his old team that he played for and won, a bunch of Super Bowls for. I'm playing Tom Brady today.
Sully, talk some sense into this kid.
Tom Brady's my number 2 ranked quarterback this week. Kyler Murray is my number 1 ranked quarterback this week. I'm sticking with Kyler, taking that rushing upside. Brady's not going to run for more than 2 yards. I think Brady goes nuts tonight, and I can't wait to watch it, but I'm starting Kyler.
How epic would it be if Tom Brady ran for like 80 yards today? How epic would it be if he just went all 21-year-old Kyler Murray on him? That would be awesome.
Just HGHs the hell out of himself before the game and goes nuts, or what?
Just like complete randomly just goes for 80. Matt, what are you thinking?
I'm going to go Kyler, but yeah, I'm with Sully, number 1 and number 2 options, but I'll go Kyler for the rushing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that Tom Brady's my number 2 option this week. There's a lot of good options this week, but I mean, Kyler Murray right now is a cheat code. Before he got hurt last year through 10 weeks, which was 9 games that he played, he had scored more fantasy points in that 10 weeks than any other quarterback in history. He got hurt, slowed down, and has started this. I think he's averaging 31 points per game or something. Maybe that's Draftkings. I don't remember. I get my numbers mixed up, but the kid's just balling out, and I'm not. There's nobody I'm sitting him for right now outside of if I had him and Patrick Mahomes, but at that point I'm moving one of them and getting something else. I'm on the Kyler side. Start 2, Gaskin, Miles Davis, Jacoby Myers, Sully, 2 of those.
I will start Jacoby Myers because I might as well just take that to my grave. And who do the Dolphins play this week?
Colts.
I'll take Gaskin and Jacoby.
Matt.
I will go Jacoby for sure, and I'll go Gaskin as well, but I don't love either option.
Bryce.
Who does the Falcons play this week?
I have it here. I was actually just about to look, and I realized
Jacoby's for sure, of course.
Atlanta, I think, plays the football team.
They do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll go with Gas. I'll go with Gaskins too and Jacoby.
I'm going different than you guys. I'm going with Davis with Jacoby. Davis is that. Just think of J.D. McKissick versus Washington. That's what Davis and Patterson are going to do today. They're not going to be able to run the ball. They're going to average like 1.8 yards per carry, but they're going to get the shit targeted out of them because if Matt Ryan doesn't get rid of the ball fast, he's going to die because I think Washington's looking at getting right. That Atlanta offensive line's terrible. And I wish Miami would use Gaskin more. I wish they'd throw to him more. The guy's a better player than Mike Davis. They're just not using him. And Malcolm Brown comes in, scores touchdown. Very frustrating, which obviously we've got the Davis Patterson thing, but they're both getting used a lot. So I'm going Davis instead of Gaskin. Sutton, Brandon Cooks, Pittman, Debo, pick 3 in PPR. So we're sitting 1. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to sit one of these guys. Which one are you sitting, Matt? We'll let you start this one off.
Give me just a second. I'm between 2. I definitely want Debo. I'm definitely playing Debo. I'm definitely playing Sutton. I'm between sitting Cooks or Pittman. Both of them based on matchups. Give me Cooks. So I guess I'm sitting Pittman here.
Bryce, I seen you making a face up there.
Yeah, Cooks is my. I honestly like Cooks more than all of them. The dude produces every single week. He's quarterback at this point. He seems like he's quarterback proof. I'm sitting Pittman here rather easily.
For what it's worth, my only concern is once again the matchup. Now they're going to be down a lot, and he's going to get the volume, so it may offseat it. But if I can stay away from Tre'Davious White, I can, and they don't have anyone else on that offense that Tre'Davious White should even look at. So I can't imagine he's not just connected to his hip the whole game. But that's my reasoning for being iffy on Cooks. But I'm still sitting Pittman. So
Sully, what are you doing for Andres here?
I'm going to sit Pittman as well. It came down to Pittman and Debo for me, and I'll take those 3 and sit Pittman. So Cook's the must start for me.
Man, this is a tough one. Cooks is the only one that I'm confident in putting in my lineup. We've been saying this on the Sunday morning show. Bryce and I doing it for 2 years now. Matchups get overblown big time. These offenses are real creative now at getting their guys, moving them around, making sure that they're getting opportunities. And this dude, Cooks, is getting like 40% plus of the target share for a team that's trailing every single week. I can't sit him. The other ones, it's tough. It could be any of these guys. It could be any of these 4, right? Because still Cooks has a floor, but I think I got to keep Pittman's volume in there. And I think I sit Debo just because I never know what San Francisco is going to do. Pittman's had 12 targets each of the last 2 weeks, and he had 8 the first week, just getting peppered. So I probably take that volume, but those 3 are tough to choose from, to be honest with you. Any of them could have a huge week. Any of them could have a dud. Good luck, Andres. I hope you pick the right 3. And hopefully we helped you figure that out. Fendi, whatever his name is, or her, PPR, Devonta Smith or Trey Sermon. This one's super easy for me. I'm putting in Devonta Smith. Is anybody going Trey Sermon? Raise your hand if you're picking Trey Sermon.
No, but I do like him. Just for an FYI, I know all 3 of you don't like him. I do like him as a player, but Devonta Smith here rather easily. I'm
going to tell you guys a fun fact. I know Bryce heard this last night on the DFS roundtable. Right now, Jalen Hurts has completed 70% of his passes to every receiver not named Devonta Smith. So him and Devonta Smith just haven't had those connections yet. He's around 50%. There's going to be a game when these guys start connecting, and it's going to be big. And
it could be today.
It could be today. It could be today.
They're going to throw a ton.
People, I seen a lot of hate towards Jalen after the last game. He's getting that connection with everybody else, which most of those guys he's spent multiple years with. Quez Watkins has only had like 6 targets all year, and they're all short. They're like 2 yards, and then he gets you, the one was a screen for 74 yards. But him and Smith, I think if they get on the same page, this could definitely be a dangerous combo here. I have a lot of Hurts to Smith and DFS because I like this matchup so much. Danny says, "Hey boys, much love from
Danny.
from Danny.
Appreciate the shout out, Danny.
Charlie says Devonta Smith, Pittman, Beasley, Edmonds, which two in PPR? I just spoke my love for Devonta Smith and the upside there. So I would go him and Beasley here because we get the volume for Beasley, and I trust that volume more than the Pittman volume. And Edmonds is out for me. Sully, where are you going?
Yeah, I'm going to go the same way.
Matt.
I will go Smith and Beasley.
Bryce.
Clean sweep.
Queen sweep.
Queen sweep.
Queen sweep. Boss Man says JT, Melvin Gordon, or Naeem Hines in PPR.
JT like Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah.
I'm going Taylor, no question.
He's easy Taylor for me, and it's not that you need to know this, but the reason I didn't go Pittman on the previous one is because I think JT goes crazy and gets right today.
Yeah, I do like JT a lot today as well. Bryce.
Yeah, JT will go off, and Matt, you will not like that for the Grand Prix.
Man, I was just setting my lineup too, and I'm Rager or Parker? Real quick, sorry to interrupt. Rager or Parker? Quick answer.
Rager.
Everybody go.
Rager, without hesitation.
All right,
Rager,
cool.
Rager.
I had Parker and I switched to Rager, and I don't love it, but yeah, I'm gonna kick.
I saw that when I was looking at your lineup.
I'm gonna kick your ass. I love it.
I'm gonna kick you.
My favorite league.
Let's see.
Dude, every time I lose in that league, it's because I play one of the top 4 scoring teams.
Yeah,
in that
tell
league.
me about it. You scored like 260 week 1, Rick, against me. I had I scored like 180. I beat everybody in the league but like 2 people, and one of them was you, of course.
Yeah, but I've like literally every loss for that is like.
I have a league. I'm the highest scoring team, and I'm 0-3.
All right, guys.
Oh,
Yeah, that's how I was in that league last year. I started 0-6, and I was the leading scorer in the league at that point.
That stuff works its way up.
And I almost made the playoffs after starting 0-6 last year.
Exactly, because they had a good team to start with.
Game out. It was just terrible luck. Okay, so we're starting to get backed up on questions here. We were all answering them. We're going to cut it down and just have 2 people answer these so that we can move through them quickly and make sure that we're staying up on them. We will answer.
I'm gonna step off for about 10 minutes, guys.
All right, cool. Just so everybody in the chat knows, we do go in order of the chat. We get, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, they all come in order, and we go straight down the list. Unless you do drop a super chat or something over on YouTube, that does bump you to the top of the list because, as we all know, money talks. That's why we're here. We're trying to win some money playing fantasy. Take it to the hizzy says, happy Sunday, y'all. Best of luck in week 4. And then Danny says, hey, boys, much love from Canada. Okay, so he finished this off for us. Big question, full PPR, start or sit, JT, Barkley, or Hopkins. Don't like the Colts O-line and shambles or Saints run D, and Hopkins has a date with Ramsey, leaning Barkley. Listen, Ramsey is not shadowing guys anymore. That's not how they're deploying him. He is all over the field. Week 1, he just torched my Bears just all over the field. He's like a hybrid outside linebacker, safety, cornerback. He will cover on some plays. He's going to be doing a lot of other stuff. But you have 3 good options here. So I'm not necessarily saying start Hopkins. Ramsey's just a different player than he has been in the past. I don't know which one to go here, Sully. What are you thinking here?
Can you throw that up on the screen just so I can see?
Oh,
it?
shoot. Boom.
Thank you.
Help your fellow Canadian.
JT, Barkley, or Hopkins. Man, it's how the hell do you sit any of these guys?
What's your lineup look like?
We had some discussion about Hopkins yesterday. I do think Ramsey takes him away today, and I understand that he doesn't shadow, but who the hell is he going to cover on the Cardinals? JT, I think, has a big day. This is totally against what I said before, but I'm actually with this options, I'm going to sit Barkley, and I absolutely hate it.
I think I'm going to end up sitting JT here. I don't love it. This is a hard one. But I'm never sitting Hopkins. That's
never where I'm at, even though I don't think I like it.
Barkley, now that he's getting all the touches, I don't like his offense as much, but the Colts offense hasn't been doing great either. I'm sitting JT, going Barkley and Hopkins here. Bryce, where you at?
I agree that Barkley is my number one here. Hopkins is number two. JT is my last option, and those are all three super good players.
I don't know if there's a right or a wrong answer there.
I don't either.
I don't want to be in that situation.
Yeah.
That's one where I called you Danny, which is I'm an asshole. Denny, I apologize. Best of luck, man. That's a tough one to be in. I don't like those first world problems, right? I like the obvious ones.
Yeah, I like these ones.
Henderson, we like Monty problems, not Denny problems.
Yeah.
Henderson, Jacobs, or Fournette PPR. I'm not a Henderson fan, but I'm going Henderson. Bryce,
I think I'm gonna go Fournette. I think I'm gonna go Fournette here.
Everybody gets one tonight. Everybody gets one tonight in Tampa, or what?
I just think that our run defense is our weakness, and I do think Brady. I think Fournette is just going to be involved even in the pass game. So I like
Gio Bernard is out, and it is clear that Ronald Jones does not have the trust of anybody in Tampa Bay.
Right. So I think Fournette here.
Sully, who are you going with?
I can't trust Jacobs because I don't know what his status is fully going to be. I can't trust anything in Tampa, even with Gio out. I'm going to go Henderson as well.
Okay, we got another Henderson question from Packer Raban over on YouTube. PPR Flex, Henderson, Galladay, Corey Davis. I'm going Corey Davis to make it simple. Sully.
Same.
Bryce. Yes. Corey Davis, clean sweep.
Easy.
Whitaker Hart says non-PPR. Cordarrelle Patterson, Chase Edmonds, Devonta Smith, or Trey Sermon. This is going to be for me the very, very. I'm going Devonta Smith. I was about to say Trey Sermon just because of the non-PPR, but I still think that there's a long touchdown in Devonta Smith's future, and those scored well anywhere. Devonta Smith, Trey Sermon, number 2 for me. Bryce.
I'm going Trey Sermon here. I think he finds the ends. I think the way the coaches talk about him, he's going to be a little bit more involved this week. I think the playbook is what he's not picking up, and that's why the fullback got a lot more action than him. I think he finds the end zone at least once today. Trey.
Sully.
I'm going to go with Devonta Smith here simply because an 80-yard touchdown is still worth whatever it's worth. And
$5 bet.
It's too early for me right now. What is that? That's a 14-yard standard scoring play, correct?
14 points? Yes.
Whatever.
Yes.
I'm tired, man. Let's go. Smith.
Deep League, PPR, Marquez Callaway, Jared Cook, Braxton Berrios. See, these are questions right here.
Yeah.
Sully.
I'm going to go Jared Cook. I want to go Braxton Berrios based on volume, but with Crowder coming back, I think he's going to see less. Marquez Callaway, not a chance. Jared Cook.
Yep.
Yes.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah. Marquez Callaway, I was critical before the season, and then he obviously hasn't scored a bunch of points, but you realize that New Orleans, Jameis Winston has thrown 20, 21, and 22 times this year. He has not thrown more than 22 passes in a game. There's not a lot of volume to go around there. Dalton says, thanks. No problem, buddy.
Anytime,
hope we helped you. Nick says, pick 2. Sutton, Woods, Patrick, Juju, full PPR. Bryce, picking 2 of those. Where you going?
Man, this is a good one. Quickly, I'm probably in the minority here, but I love Juju for this week. It's going to be him and Patrick for me.
Sully.
It's Juju for sure, and I have Sutton ranked higher than Patrick, so I'll go with Cortland Sutton.
I'm going Patrick and Juju. So we've got a nice little.
I didn't think you guys would choose Juju for some reason.
I think with Chase out and Ben can't throw it more than 5 or 6 yards, I think Juju's going to get a ton of those around the line targets.
And Juju's been getting quiet volume anyway, even with all 3 of them. It hasn't turned into a lot. What was that?
And he had a rushing touchdown. So they're getting the ball in his hands.
Yeah, it just hadn't turned into big weeks yet. I think they are coming. hopefully this week. Are you guys not in front of your computer to see these players and matchups? Come on, man. I can't look at everything at once. I would love to be able to, but unfortunately,
I don't know what that is referring to.
Yeah, I don't know either. But unfortunately, you get on here and you think you have everything right in the front, and then you start talking, something comes up, and sometimes you have a brain fart. It just happens. We do our best to give you guys the best information. Al says, need one of these Moss, Gibson, and need one of these Lamb or Deontay. So we've got Moss or Gibson. I don't even know.
That one's straightforward for me. So if I'm reading this correctly, to me it's Gibson over Moss,
yes,
and Lamb over Deontay is the way I would go.
Gibson and Lamb for me as well.
Yep.
Bryce.
Yeah.
Ayuk. Oh, now Patrick. So one, he didn't like that we didn't know the matchups, but now he wants us to answer a question. So this is interesting. Ayuk.
Let's give him the worst answer.
Ayuk, D. Smith, Antonio Brown, Emmanuel Sanders. Bench one of those. Sully, which one are you benching out of Ayuk, Devonta Smith, Antonio Brown, Emmanuel Sanders?
Emmanuel Sanders. I'm not chasing the 2 touchdowns from last week. Start the guys that are going to produce.
Bryce.
Yeah, it's rather easily for me. Emmanuel Sanders. I'm starting the other two.
It is between Ayuk and Sanders. For me, Sanders has been getting volume as well. He has been getting used. So I do like him, but I think I do bench him out of the 4. But again, those are all guys that I don't mind having in my lineup. Would you guys rather start Hubbard or Allen Robinson at the flex this week? I can't believe we've made it an hour.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We haven't heard any Chuba Hubbard questions.
Yeah,
that's the first one. Hubbard or Allen Robinson at the flex this week, Sully?
Well, I'd like to try to get Chuba in my lineups, but there's no way I'm getting him in my lineups at the expense of Allen Robinson. I don't think that Allen Robinson hasn't fallen this far this fast, in my opinion. So it's easily A-Rob here for me.
Dalvin Cook is officially active, by the way. I just got that notification. Bryce, where are you going?
I'm going Allen Robinson rather easily here as well. Hubbard is going to have a not very good week this week. Dallas matches up perfectly against a running back of his style. Even just any running back, even if they come out of the backfield, their linebacking core is able to, swallow guys like that are. I mean, I wouldn't say McCaffrey because he's on another level, but just any receiver out of the backfield, Dallas is going to match up good against.
Start one. CEH, Sermon, Mike Davis. This is easily CEH for me. Anybody going any different ways?
Absolutely not.
You guys got a $5 bet yet this week?
We haven't got one yet.
I think I have one. I have one to propose. It's giving you a high favor.
Let's try to catch up here on a couple of these questions, and then we'll do some fun $5 bets. Maybe we'll make it 50. Hey guys, new to the show, I have a defensive question. I have Chicago in now, and it's a rainy game, so I'm hoping for turnovers, but should drop and pick up Miami or Cleveland instead. Listen, I roll with Chicago out of these 3. I feel like there's good opportunity for Goff to throw interceptions more so than, I love Cleveland. I love the pressure. They could get some sacks, but Cousins isn't turning the ball over. As Sully mentioned earlier, you said it's been 8 games without an interception?
I think it's actually been 10, but it's been a while.
It's been a while since he's thrown a pick, so not really looking for turnovers there. That's what really gets you the big score. Miami and Indianapolis. Indianapolis could run the ball a lot today, and kind of slow that down with Wentz on bum ankles. But Wentz can turn the ball over too. Chicago for me, Bryce.
I'm going to go Cleveland just because I think they have a higher percentage of getting more sacks than Chicago does of getting picks, and that's all it comes down to for me.
Well, Chicago's getting sacks too.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Bears here, and because I just don't want Cleveland to have a good game today.
He's got that Vikings jersey on. He says no, sir. Pick 2: AB, Myers, Lamb, OBJ. Lamb and OBJ for me. Where are you going with it, Sully?
Yep, me too.
Bryce.
Yeah, Lamb's the easy one here. Yeah, OBJ.
OBJ is just as easy for me. Looked great
Minnesota's
coming back in that
secondary
first game
stinks.
last week.
Yeah.
Corey Davis, Kirk Callaway, flex full PPR. This is Corey Davis for me. Bryce.
Yep.
Oh, Sully
Yeah.
says yep.
Yeah, Corey Davis.
And Azo says Quez Watkins is going to have a day, and
awesome.
he could. He's very talented. He's just not getting a lot of volume at this point. He is being very efficient with the targets that he's getting, but that also helps when you've got like 6 targets and a 74-yard touchdown. Christian says Sermon or Sutton, full PPR. I'm going Sutton. Sully.
Sutton.
Esbins. I don't even know where that name came from. I made it up, and we're going with it. Esbins is a guaranteed 10 to 12 points, and if he breaks off a run or pass, he can go big. I love Edmonds. These guys have no clue. Nobody said that he doesn't have the opportunity. We mentioned that he has the floor, but when we're looking at these combos of players that they're against, we're also looking at that player's floor to ceiling combo. I don't care about, a player that scores 8 to 12 every week. We haven't seen the big score, and James Conner is involved in that offense. It's just a little limited at this point. Nobody ever said he wasn't good, though.
He puts it in there if he breaks off a big run or pass. He just hasn't yet. I mean, and then when they get close to the end zone, it's James Conner. It's not like I wanted Edmonds to be successful this year, and he has the opportunity, but he hasn't done it yet. So why would we think he's doing it this week?
There's not a player in the league dressing today or any other week that is a guaranteed 10 to 12 points a week.
That is very true. Outside of Dalvin Cook, who I think is the only player since the beginning of last year that every game they started has scored 10 points. James Robinson was with him until the beginning of this year when Urban Meyer acted like a dingleberry and gave Carlos Hyde a bunch of touches.
He had to PG-13 that.
I did. I had to cut it off real quick because it was just so dumb. And we're seeing that. James Robinson looks great, right? Now that he's getting the touches, the guy has done nothing but succeed. Start 2, full PPR, Sutton, Myers, Marquis Brown, Michael Pittman. Holy cow. A lot of these guys are the same guys we're answering question after question. The Suttons, the Myers, we've had a lot of that. Pittman. Sully, where are you going? 2 of these guys, Sutton, Myers, Marquis Brown, Michael Pittman. Pretty sure I know you're putting Myers in there because that's the train you've been on all day.
Yeah, Marquis Brown makes this tough for me. I think it's Sutton and Myers for me, but yeah, that's where I'm sticking.
Bryce.
I'm going Myers and Marquise Brown.
I don't blame you.
Marquise Brown is my first choice out of these.
He's mine as well.
I'm going Sutton. I'm going Sutton just because I think Sutton's got monster upside. Probably not the floor that Myers has, but if one of these 3, Sutton, Myers, or Pittman, are going to score 30 points on a week, I think it is going to be Sutton. So I'll take the shot on that and hope for a little bit of upside. Which tight end this week? Hunter Henry, Dawson Knox, or Jared Cook? Interesting.
Cook rather easily for me.
Jared Cook for me.
I'm going Jared Cook as well, but Dawson Knox has been scoring some points. And again, we think they're going to put up a bunch. Jared Cook's probably the safest bet, though. Beasley, Edmonds, or Woods. Jackson needs to know for full PPR. Beasley, Edmonds, or Woods. Bryce.
Beasley for me here.
Beasley for Bryce. Sully, what are you doing?
Beasley for me as well, but I can't shake the feeling that Woods has a game today.
I had that feeling as well.
Yeah, I'm going Beasley. I don't know. Van Jefferson's running more routes than Robert Woods.
Yeah.
So what are they telling us, right?
Even
right.
Djax is involved, right?
Yeah, which he's just another Quez Watkins type where he's got the long touchdown, very efficient on his touches. But the Rams are telling us that Robert Woods is their number 3 right now. In terms of routes ran. It's tough. It's tough. Because before the season it was which one, Woods or Cup? Stafford's there. It's
That's pretty
clearly
clear now.
Cup right now.
Just a bit.
Should I start Dustin Knox or Dalton Schultz? Bryce.
I'm going to go with Schultz.
Sully.
I'm going Schultz as well. I don't want to poo-poo Knox, but I don't buy it.
Yeah, I like tight ends and good offenses because they are going to be red zone threats no matter what. But Dalton Schultz gets worked in a little bit more between the 20s. So I am also Dalton Schultz here. Gibson, Harris, Woods, Brian Edwards. Pick one for PPR. This is Gibson for me pretty easily. Bryce.
Yeah, it's between Gibson and Woods, and I'll agree and go with Gibson here.
I think in PPR, it's Gibson by a mile.
Craig, our boy Craig says Edmonds, Woods, or Mike Davis as the flex. This one is a good one. Bryce, where you go?
I don't know if I picked him at all today, but I'm gonna go with Robert Woods. I do have a feeling he has a good week, and even if he doesn't, I think he just has at least a solid 15 points today. I'm not sure. Edmonds is probably the safer floor, but I'll go a little bit riskier on this one and go with Robert Woods.
Sully.
I think I'm going to go Chase Edmonds here. I do think Robert Woods could have a week, but to the point you made earlier about him running as their number 3, that's tough to invest in. Woods is the ceiling. I think Edmonds is the floor with potential for a decent ceiling. So I'll take Chase Edmonds.
Here's the thing. It's hard to run on the Rams. So Edmonds has to get his through the air today, I think. And they don't check down as much as I would like them to for a running back in that offense. Woods, on the other hand, while we just said all that stuff, still has 2 touchdown upside on a Rams offense that's going to score a bajillion every week. So I'm going to go with that. I think he's just got the higher ceiling. He still has a solid floor. It's not like he's completely eliminated from that offense. It's just he's scoring 10 to 12 instead of, the 18 people we're hoping for. And I would just rather start either of these guys over Mike Davis. So, okay, Husto. He wants to know, are we starting Gibson or OBJ in the flex? Bryce.
I just don't trust Gibson as much as I like OBJ. I'm going to go with OBJ here.
Sully.
Gibson for me. It's close, but Gibson.
Oh man, this one's literally, I would, if I was in this situation, I'd probably just flip a coin.
Yeah, it's close.
So that's what I'm going to make you do. Flip a coin, break the tie. I think that, they're going to need Gibson. And I think they have to get him involved to have a chance. I think they need to take pressure off of Heineke. But it is hard to trust. A good majority of his total points have come in like 2 games in his career so far. OBJ, I would lean OBJ here. I like that game. I like OBJ's touchdown upside, volume, everything there.
Vikings do stink.
Adnan Galani says, hey guys, Nick Westbrook or Henry Ruggs? And I understand I like Westbrook, but I'm not starting him over Ruggs. The ceiling's not comparable, in my opinion. Sully, what do you think?
I agree, even though I picked up Westbrook. I think every dynasty league I'm in, and I really want to start him somewhere, and I'm still not. So it's Ruggs for me.
Yeah, I can't believe we haven't got a question about him either. I was really expecting some.
You know what?
I'm going Ruggs as well.
Curtis Samuel too. With Curtis Samuel back, we haven't had any Curtis Samuel.
He's been in some of those combo picks, but nothing straight up about him now.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I've just forgot.
He hasn't really been an option in those combo picks either. Like
I've read 100 questions, so I do get a little mixed up here.
Yep.
Need streaming defense. Don't trust my Panthers D this week. I can pick up the Packers or the Lions. Bryce, which one of these are you starting?
Yeah, the Panthers D might have a tough time this week, even though they're really good at getting to the quarterback. I don't know the matchups off the top of my head. The Lions are playing the Bears. I do know that. Who are the
Packers have
Packers playing?
Steelers.
Packers have Steelers.
Oh, I'm going with the Packers. That offensive line has looked god awful. Big Ben has not been looking good at all. I'm going the Packers fairly easy here then.
Now that I'm back, I will also go Packers. That's why I wanted to jump in. I think the Packers is a good play here. I'm in one league where you have to start a defense. I picked them up, and I'm really excited about it. That Pittsburgh line is just so bad. So give me the Packers.
Sully.
I'm going to go with the Lions, and I know it doesn't make any sense, but I think that the Bears are going to struggle again offensively this week and could turn the ball over. So I'll go with the Lions.
Yeah, I have the Lions in DFS a little bit too.
So do I.
He's wishing horrible things upon your team.
If I'm going down there, I'm playing the Jets.
That's fine.
Here's the thing, right? And we say this all the time. It's not just about scoring. What points you give up. You got to get that pressure. You got to force turnovers, and hopefully get lucky and get a touchdown. All three of these are good plays. I don't, even though it's Dallas, Dak can throw an interception and it get returned. It's not like he doesn't turn it over at all. He's not, like Cousins, like we were talking about earlier, who just doesn't turn it over, or hasn't been. He has in the past.
Cousins is going to throw 4 freaking picks.
He's gonna.
Yeah,
we've done jinx Cousins today.
Remember, I jinxed Mac Jones last week. Said he hadn't thrown. Well, I mean, they weren't really his fault, but he gets 3 picks on the stats. It's like,
yep. So
poor man.
I think I do go Packers here, though. I think I do lean them a little bit. They were somebody that I've been looking actually in DFS pay up to get, because I feel like the Lions are going to be the chalkiest. I like avoiding defenses in DFS when they're chalky because it's so random. Like we have no idea what's going to happen when it comes to defense. If you get that random kick return for a touchdown, random fumble, wide receiver fumble picked up for a touchdown, like there's just so much randomness in it. I just like getting low owned defenses if I can. I think they are 3 good options though. But Detroit's defense is bad. I just don't think that it's going to be the same, but I'm hopeful and biased and all that fun stuff. AJ Green or Renfro PPR. Sully, I see you nodding there.
Yeah. Renfro easy for me.
Matt.
I'll go Renfro as well. Safer. Too many options in Arizona. AJ can limp off at any time. I don't trust it yet.
Bryce.
I think it's close, but I'm still leaning Renfro. AJ Green's produced every week, it seems like so far. So, but
they both.
I'll go Renfro. Yeah, I'll go Renfro. So,
yeah, I'm going Renfro as well, but AJ Green does have the benefit of being a red zone threat for that Arizona offense. Has had a decent floor thus far, but Renfro is just getting peppered, right? So I'm going with Renfro. That is all I have for questions in here right now. I
have a bet.
Right.
I have a bet proposition.
You have a bet proposition.
Oh,
if it's for a standard league,
no, not standard. Okay. No, okay, I don't do that. PPR only. Do you like Devontae Smith over Jacoby?
Yes, I will take that bet.
Okay, I'll take Jacoby over Devontae today.
And if I can get in, I will also go Smith.
Again.
Matt's on my side this time.
I'm going
Smith last time.
Sully, you want to do the $5 bet with Matt, or you would take Jacoby?
Maybe we should. Hey, Matt.
Yeah,
I'm in. Double. Okay, cool.
So this side of the screen is this side.
We'll go this way.
Bryce and Sully are on Jacoby Myers.
Team
Matt
Jacoby.
and I are on.
I said when you disrespected
Smith.
him, you disrespected him in the chat, and I told you I was going to have him in this bet. So
nothing like throwing Jacoby Myers on your weekly bets. Like, I gotta have it. Just got to be Jacoby Myers.
It's Waddle and Meyer. Waddle and Meyer are the guys I like.
Michael Kilpatrick says Tannehill or Wentz. This is Tannehill fairly easily for me. Bryce.
Yeah, I'm going to go Tannehill too. It's weird starting a quarterback who just lost literally his top 2 targets, but he's just they'll pound the ball all the way down the field, and then he could throw 4 touch. He could have like Jameis Winston stats where he throws for 150 yards and 4 touchdowns just based on how that offense operates.
And Wentz has 2 bum ankles still.
Yeah.
That's the problem for me starting Wentz. He could leave at any given point. Sully.
It is Tannehill for me.
Tannehill as well. Tannehill.
Clean sweep on Tannehill. We understand it is ugly. He trusts Westbrook a lot. He came out this week, talked about Westbrook.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like it last week when the guys went down. Westbrook stepped in and immediately got volume. It's obviously not the same. We might actually see more targets to a running back that has almost beat his career high in 3 weeks. Derrick Henry is much more involved than he has been. I think he's 7 away. I think he's got 11 already, which is as many as he had last year, but I think 18 is the most he's had in his career.
I have one for us since we're slowing down on the ones coming in. I know we're almost done, but we mentioned Westbrook a lot. We haven't talked a whole lot about him. Sully, I did the same. I added him everywhere. I have an area where I might need to use him. Do we like Westbrook or Gesicki in a flex? I already have Pitts in the tight end spot.
I'm going Westbrook myself.
Yeah, I would take that gamble.
Sully, you're muted, buddy.
I don't think he answered. I think he just gave us a head nod and said, "You know what? Yep, we're going Westbrook." That's one of the situations where he'd throw him in.
It shows me his mic's muted. There we go.
Sorry, it's
Canadian internet. I can't hear him now.
Yeah, he like muted mid-sentence. I don't know.
Do you hear me now?
Westbrook, thumbs up. There we go. Westbrook, you gave the thumbs up. Westbrook.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Miles Sanders, Robert Woods, Corey Davis, or Antonio Brown, full PPR. Matt, which one are you going with?
Let's go between AB and Davis, and I'll go AB.
Sully. He's blinking.
Bryce.
Yeah,
Bryce.
his thing is I'll go AB as well. It's close between him and Corey Davis, in my opinion.
The Patriot reunion is going to ball out today.
There he
Well,
Yes, you have us. We're held in suspense.
we as well.
Yeah, his internet. It's his internet
lagging
for sure.
You got a snowstorm up there?
Tell us in the chat. But I think that the AB and Tom Brady returning to Foxborough is going to be deadly for this Tampa Bay offense. I'm looking forward to it. I think Tom is the type that's going to make it a priority that him and AB go nuts.
Yeah, especially with no Gronk. Him and Gronk.
It would have been him and Gronk for sure. I bet Gronk is. I feel bad for Gronk.
Yeah, I can't believe it. That sucks.
Michael says Westbrook or Djax in half PPR. I'm going Westbrook just because I feel like the involvement's safer. Matt, I see you nodding.
Yep, I'm going with you on there. I'll go Westbrook on that one.
Bryce?
Yeah, Deshaun Jackson's PPR value is almost the exact same as his standard value, right? But I think Westbrook here is going to be more involved.
Sully. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Tucker Esty says CMC owner start 1. Madison, Michelle, Michael Carter, Kenneth Gainwell, Peyton Barber. I'm going with Michael Carter here. I don't know what Sony Michelle is going to be with Darrell Henderson back. Madison has Cook back, so he's basically out. Barber looks like Jacobs is going to be back, so he's basically out. And then Kenneth Gainwell is still the backup. I think Michael Carter is getting more and more of that work for the Jets. I actually like him to get more involved this week. Michael Carter's my pick. Bryce, where are you going?
Yeah, I agree. I think later in the year, Michael Carter ideally would still be your pick later in the year, but it could be Sony Michel. I think eventually he takes over, but Michael Carter fairly easily this week for me.
For me on this one, I'm going to go elsewhere and go Gainwell. I just don't trust the Jets offense at all, which is the only reason I'm hesitant on Davis in a lot of these questions. And I think Gainwell's role today will be efficient enough that he's got a decent floor, and I think there's a somewhat of a ceiling there. So I will go Gainwell. And it's only between Gainwell and Carter. The rest I wouldn't even consider.
Yeah.
Thomas says, is Damian Harris at all startable against Tampa?
No, right?
I think I'd rather start JJ Taylor.
I mean, I think he's only startable right now in standard leagues, period.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it. Like, he gets the work, gets the rushing work, but the man just doesn't. He has to score at least a touchdown to even have a decent week.
Yeah.
Basically has to have 2 touchdowns to have you a really good week right now. In PPR, I can't start him. I can't start anybody until I see Michelle look decent. You know, he didn't look horrible against Tampa Bay last week for the Rams, but
he still averaged only 3 yards a carry.
But yeah, and you're looking at a 2.4 here. I mean, there's a scenario where he gets 13 carries for 21 yards, and
I think you see it.
I'm not
12-point ceiling.
Yeah, I was going to say I was going to finish that up with I'm not starting anybody that's not named, you know, Saquon, CMC, Dalvin Cook, you know, against Tampa Bay if I can avoid it until we see something change.
I would agree. Unless you can guarantee 3 or 4 targets minimum against Tampa and they're a running back, I don't want them.
Yeah, Harris is like that guy that's a good player in real life, but his fantasy value is just so low.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, that is going to end the show for today. That was the last question that we had. We've been here for an hour and a half. We appreciate everybody coming by. We do this every Sunday morning starting at 10:30 Eastern. If you haven't hit that like button, subscribe button, please do so. We want to wish all of you good luck here in week 4. Don't forget, come back Tuesday night for the Dynasty Heat Seekers, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And Wednesday, the Fantasy Inferno redraft show at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Bryce is on that show Wednesday nights. They will help you with Dynasty and redraft Tuesday and Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Thanks again, everybody, and we will see you next week.
Good luck, everyone. Enjoy week 4.